it's great to talk to you, especially because I think it was about 9 months ago, 9, 10 months ago, when we did our first interview,
Oh,
and of course it
wow.
was the RBC Emerging Artists, and we did that, and we did it on Zoom, which was a lot of fun. But we didn't run into each other in this past CMW. I was there at the hotel for most of the time hosting. You were around. You were performing too. How was the experience for you for CMW?
It was great. So I had the opportunity to meet so many people that I've just done the online thing with, meet new people, connect with friends and old, industry pals. And I was very busy, and I still haven't caught up on the right amount of sleep. I'm doing North by Northeast again this week, so right back into it here in Toronto. But it was just so nice to be back. It really was, and doing the conference thing again. I think that like the first week before it, I was almost dreading it, like, oh God, it's gonna be stressful. I'm gonna be exhausted. And then a day in, I was like, bumping around from meeting to showcase to panel to other meeting. I'm like, oh, I'm having so much fun. I forgot how much I loved that, just
Yeah.
meeting people and connecting.
So much. I'm surprised we missed each other since I was hosting first the Thursday. No, Wednesday I was hosting in the Ontario room, and then Thursday I was in the bigger room, the ballroom. So I'm like, how the hell did we miss each other?
I saw you, but I think it was just the passing trains in the night,
Ah, my apologies on that because you know how it is when you're focused. You're just like, just got to
Totally.
move where you got to move to. But
A
and
lot
you
going
performed
on.
at the Painted Lady, right?
I did. It was such a nice show. There was, I think, 10 of us on the bill or something like that. Whole bunch of Indigenous artists, all associated with the organization InPath through a program called Artworks. It's a mentorship
Yes.
program for young professional Indigenous artists. And it was just so nice. It was really well attended. I think with showcases, we often kind of expect the worst, but plan for the best.
Yeah.
And I was so joyed to see that the room was packed the whole night. It was so fun.
I think everybody was just happy also to get together. But I know with what's been going on with the world, people are really trying to support indigenous music, which needs to happen. And I'm seeing so many great things out there right now too. So it is a blessing having an artist like yourself represent Canadian music the way you do. Folk, soul, your humor, your outlook in life. It is just so positive. I was looking back at the interview we did as we were talking about the RBC Emerging Artist Projects. What was that experience like for you? Because I had a fantastic time talking to you about all that for the first time.
Yeah, so I was part of the first up round. So there's the Emerging Artist Program, which is out now, and then there's also the RBCX Music First Up program. So they're
That's
slightly
the one,
different.
yes.
Yeah, slightly different. And I'm still connecting with those folks. I'm going for coffee tomorrow with one of the people from the team.
Oh, who?
Um,
Who is it?
Jem Galvez.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Say
Yeah,
hello for
Jem's
me,
the best.
please.
Yeah, Jem's the best. And they've just been so incredibly supportive. I'm not on contract with them anymore. I was for a little while, which was essentially kind of like, it was almost like a grant they gave me. Like, we'll have some deliverables, but here's some cash. Go do with it what you need. But that contract ended in December, and they still are sending opportunities my way. Like, there's no obligation to be supporting me,
Yeah.
but they do. Like, they're just awesome. And it's been such a nice experience, especially working with banks. It can be kind of nerve-wracking as an indigenous person, as an artist in
Yes.
general, signing contracts with them. And I through and through, they've just been great.
Well, you know what? I shouldn't even be talking about this, but I was moderator for the songwriting event. And one of the things that was talked about, and hopefully RBC is going to do this because I know there's talks about it because they talked about it there, was artists to be able to get almost like a credit card kind of thing where if you're a new artist and you go through their program, you get sort of like this credit card thing where you can go and do what you need to do for music and stuff
That's
like
so
that.
valuable. Like even to just be able to check in a hotel. Like I'm really lucky and my mom taught me about credit young.
Yeah,
But so many artists that I know, like do you know how many people I put credit cards down for on hotel rooms because they check in and they don't have a way to check in?
yeah,
You know? So that is just so valuable. Never mind when it comes to paying for some of these big expenses. Sometimes you just need to put it on credit for whatever reason. Or there's the whole point system too, which is quite nice once you start flying around a little bit and you can collect, some points for using their money.
yeah, yeah. The program actually has the points too, but like I said, it was just in discussion, so I'm hoping this is going to go through. It's kind of a
Right.
copy of when you have people who come to this country, immigrants, and they get like what is it? Basically, the credit card and like loan and things like that, and whatever else because they're new to the country, and they're hoping they're going to do that kind of style for
That's so
new
neat.
musicians, which I think
So
is
many of us are self-employed too, which means that on paper there's not a lot.
yeah,
Not many of us have assets. And so when it comes to, yeah, here's my paperwork, I'm self-employed, I don't have history to show you. It's so hard to build financial history. So that's
yeah,
great. I love that. I'm a really big advocate for financial literacy as an artist,
yes.
especially when it comes to knowing where your money's going, but also how you're using it and making it work hard for you because why not, you know?
How important was it for you to learn the business side? Because I think for the last couple of years, artists are really starting to get smart because they've heard the horror stories that have happened for decades to artists. In fact, I was actually watching a documentary and I knew the story. I just had the money part wrong. They were talking about TLC, one of the greatest female groups of all time,
Yeah.
and how their contract basically every CD they sold, they had to split 56 cents. And at their height, at winning all the Grammys and platinum albums, they went into bankruptcy. How important has it been for you to learn from mistakes that have happened in the past to make sure that as you are going along and writing great music financially and business wise, that you're still strong and being able to continue?
I've been so fortunate to have some really great mentors in my life that have taught me, don't get rid of your masters. And I think that there's some really predatory deals out there. And it's such a shame because there's predatory deals specifically for Indigenous artists because of some of the things that are going on in the industry. Like there's the Indigenous Music Countdown, which is kind of the hot spot for your singles, for your music to land on. And it's great. It's a radio show, a radio charting countdown show, but it has a relationship with satellite radio with Sirius. And so when your music gets on there, it gets funneled through satellite, and that's where the big money is, right? Like the royalties are unmatchable between radio and satellite radio. So there's good
Mhm.
money there. And there's some people out there that realized that and started offering record deals to Indigenous artists at horrible margins and taking
Wow.
way too much of the masters and not really explaining what that even is. Like, I didn't know what a master ownership was, of how that actually implements the ownership of the song and how that translates to what money ends up back in my pocket. And so, myself, I do more business than art these days, to be honest, which I'm hoping changes soon. Someone manage me, please. Really would love that. But I really advocate for making sure that other artists know that. Like, I go out of my way to ask artists that are coming up who have been offered record deals, like, let me read your contract. I'm not a lawyer, but I can at least explain like what a master is and break it down in layman's terms. And then maybe you should go get a lawyer after that before you sign, Like that's really important. And then I think last time that you and I spoke, we did touch upon the workshop series that I do, air session.
Yes. Yep.
So that's a big component of it too. Because of course we have artists come in and they inspire us and we get excited about music, but I also bring in industry folks too, and I offer mentorship with different business music folks so that the artist can learn the paperwork side of things, so they know what these terms mean. And I mean, I've been here 10 years now in the music industry, and I'm still learning some of this stuff. Like I'll never know it all. It's so complex. So it's everything because not only do I want my money to come to me, that should come to me, but then there's also like a sovereignty piece of it, of it's really important to me as a woman, as an indigenous person, that I own my art, not some white
Yes.
guy owning my art, you know?
You speak the truth. Absolutely speak the truth. And hopefully, I hope people who see this are going to start thinking too, because I think a lot of times the fame, the glamour that you see on social media, people really believe the hype, but they don't understand what's actually going behind. Let's put it this way: the guy who owns that island out there, you don't know his face, but he's got your money. So
Yeah.
that's the way it works. But we've come through a lot. The as things are slowly opening up, how have things changed up for you personally, professionally, and when I say musically, I mean in songwriting, knowing that now that you can get out there, it's not being done like this, you're actually being out there to sing your songs. Have these things changed and changed you in any way?
The last two shows I was at, people were singing along with me. Like, do you know how like epic that is? That doesn't happen on Zoom. Like on Zoom or on these virtual performance opportunities, which are great, and they got me through, and I was still able to connect to people. But I always make the joke that like, hey, if you love it, put a fire emoji in the chat. Like people aren't singing along that I can hear it. Maybe they are, but I can't hear it, right? So the connection piece is there finally, which is that's why I do it. I love connecting. I love sharing those moments, and it's just different in person. And I've been on a level up right now. It's been really exciting just seeing myself grow. I had a show last night and I don't know what was different. I mean, the band was great that I played with. I had some new music that I played. I played some of the songs that are coming off on the record, which will come out this fall. But it was just something was different last night. And I'm proud of me. You know what I mean? It sounds so cheesy, but I was like, whoa. It was one of those moments where I saw myself do a level up right in front of my own eyes, which was really exciting. And being being in person again and having the opportunity to reconnect with folks like you too, who I've started making these relationships with over the past couple years, and finally having that chance to be out in person again. It's really exciting, and I feel like I'm on the cusp.
You said something which is one of the big reasons why we're talking. You said the two words new music. You have a new single out right now.
Yeah.
I love to make this official. What is the new single called and what is it about, please?
So Intuition dropped about 2 weeks ago, and the music video came out the week after. Intuition is all about listening to your gut and like whatever your spirit guide is, letting that guide you and like it being in tune with it. I went through a really unhealthy relationship and was able to get out a couple years ago, and like systematically my relationship to myself was just destroyed, and it took me a long time to get to myself again. But the thing that got me out, people are gonna think I'm like unwell, but I swear to God, the thing that got me out was I remember like just sitting in my house, the place that we had at the time, and I heard voices in my head being like, nope, this ain't it. Something's not right. Something's wrong. Like, you need to search your house. You need to, like, it was weird. It was like such like a spiritual moment. And I liken that to, like my ancestors, my grandmas. My grandmas are in my ear and whispering to me, like, my girl, like, this isn't it. You deserve so much more. And then ended up uncovering so many layers of lies and deceit and just not good stuff. And I'm better for it. I'm on the other side and I've learned a lot. But without my intuition, without that gut feeling telling me it's off, I never would have found out. And I'm just so grateful that I leaned into it. And that's what I hope people get from the song is that they take a moment to pause and lean into whatever they are trying to communicate to themselves, because we know. We just need to quiet the noise so that we can hear ourselves.
We never give ourselves a chance to do that. I think sometimes we're afraid to do that. We're afraid to hear those
Great.
voices. I think we all have those voices, but what advice can you give folks who, they feel like, no, I got to keep going, I got to keep moving, I got to keep doing this and this and this, and not want to hear your gut feelings or feel those gut feelings? What advice can you give them so that they can get the proper guidance? That's the word I'm thinking of.
For me and for my relatives, I need to return to my ceremony in those moments. I need to return to my medicines and my teachings in those moments and take a moment to just be with those things that are really important to me. And for, non-Indigenous folks, I think that you have versions of that too. Maybe that's being in nature in general. Maybe that's being around your family or the things that ground you. Just finding those moments. I think that our hearts will always say one thing, our minds will always say another, but our gut never lies.
Oh, wow, that just, you saw my face go this way. It was like pow, powerful,
Yeah.
amazing. Are we gonna feel that power when this album comes out? What's the feel gonna be with that?
I'm so excited. Oh my God. So that's coming out in the fall. I just went and recorded a couple music videos for it in Mexico a couple weeks ago, which was really
Oh wow.
fun. And I'll paint you a little bit of a picture for the lead single, which is the album title. It's called Fool Underwater. And in it, you're gonna see some visuals where essentially like I'm dressed up like a bride. I've got a bouquet, white dress, I'm walking down the beach, and instead of walking to my wedding, I go and drown myself. So and then the rest of the music video is underwater, which is really, really cool. It was fun. I battled some jellyfish for this one, so please, please watch and listen when it comes out. And the reception so far for this first single has been so warm. I went and looked at the music video, which has only been out for a couple days, and I don't know how y'all have done it, but you racked up 5,000 views in a couple days.
Uh,
So we're having fun with it. It's a journey. It's an introspective album that has big moments and soft moments. We're gonna laugh together. We're gonna cry. We're gonna unpack some stuff. But it's a journey.
I think we all need that, especially coming out of what we're all coming out of too. So,
Yeah,
as we are kicking through the summer, more shows happening for you.
absolutely. I've got a couple happening in Manitoba. I'm playing this brand new festival called Current Festival. It's really exciting. It's gonna be like the Coachella of Manitoba. It's got a stellar lineup of some incredible local musicians. So that's happening the second weekend of August in Winnipeg, playing Hoop and Holler, which is a little festival out where I grew up, actually. It's kind of like a back to my roots moment. That's outside of Winnipeg. And more to come for sure. I'm around.
Fantastic. And as we speak, and correct me if I'm wrong, is it Indigenous Day this weekend?
Yeah, the 21st. Well, yeah. So, yeah, this weekend, the 21st. So,
Yes,
National Indigenous Peoples Day
that's
is
it.
June 21st. And this whole month is Indigenous History Month as well. So,
Right.
yeah, go support your Nietzsche friends and see the music, buy the album, buy the art, wear the art. All that stuff is great. It helps our communities a lot.
And I know people who are watching going to ask this: where did you get those amazing earrings?
Oh my God. So this is a fun moment on this trip actually. I've been here for a couple weeks in Toronto, and magically, the Indigenous Fashion Arts Festival lined up when I was here, and it's like the Toronto Fashion Week for Indigenous folks, which is super fun. And they had a market, and these are by Only Child Handicrafts, who she's based in BC, I think Salt Spring or something like that. Incredible artist, such an advocate. I've been a huge fan for years, and these ones specifically are like one of her iconic designs and really hard to get. I couldn't believe she had these. So I went and spent way too much money at her booth at this marketplace. And then, kind of like shy, I went up to her. I'm like, hey, I just want to tell you, I'm a really big fan. This is who I am. She's like, oh, I know who you are. Oh, oh, okay. Now I'm blushing. Wow, it was so cool though. It was such a cool moment. I'm such a huge fan. So yeah, Only Child Handicrafts. She's so deadly. If people are hearing this interview, not too long after this, then she might have stuff on sale because whatever didn't sell at the market, a nice healthy drop was happening. So I recommend checking her out.
Oh man, no, I love them. I get them for myself.
Right?
They are so cool. Guys can
I'll
wear
show you
that.
this other pair that I got from her. I almost wear these, which are so
Oh, nice.
but they're pretty noisy. I'm like, maybe these aren't good for interviews. I had to pick my quiet earrings.
No, love it. Love you too. Love your music. Love your
Thank
vibe.
you.
Love everything you're putting out there for us. What a great representation of what good people are all about and supporting people. And that's what you are about. Thank you so much for the interview. Congrats on the new single. Can't wait for the album to come out. More
Thank you.
importantly, I cannot wait at some point in time when I don't know how. you and I get to do a one-on-one interview together. I love doing the Zoom stuff, but at least once we got to do this one-on-one so I can get my picture taken with you and everyone
Aw,
else. So.
thanks, Rudy. I appreciate it so much. You're awesome.